Well, I got a little bit delayed in the jolly old lobby area. May as well take a film. This NBU, I think, is the National Bank of Uzbekistan. When I see you, I almost want to say Ukraine because it's in the media on everybody's mind so much at the moment. What a lovely flowering cherry there. And apparently there's a lot of interesting trees and lots of green space. I was reading in the in-flight magazine about in advance about my throat. I hope it's not going to disturb this whole series and make it not as good as it would otherwise have been. But apparently there's a lot of different species of trees, of mammals and birds all around in Uzbekistan, so maybe I ought to have not filmed here because obviously they've got some kind of a security detail with lots of people basically standing around with batons and truncheons and what have you. That's the metro. So obviously if I want to come back here by metro, the station that I'm going to be looking for is called Bodomzor. Bottoms up, Bodomzor. So lots of police in evidence everywhere you go. So yeah, National Bank and the International Hotel. Don't know what that thing in the middle is though. Presumably there'd be a way to go through there to get to the other side rather than, although those folk are just walking across the road casually. I don't know how, well, that's a great idea in front of police, but I'll see if the metro station's a good way of going across. So Bodomzor, if I want to get back here anyway, then I'll probably walk now while there's some light going on. And of course if I discover that I've walked too far to get back easily, then I can always use the metro to get back, and this is exactly where to come out. So nice kiddish, which is значит, не можно только переходить улицу здесь, да? Не можно только переходить через улицу, через это, нет. Это только... окей, хорошо. So, I thought I was just going to use it as a subway, but there's no way of... As soon as you get in there, they want you to get tickets and go for the train and things like that, which is not precisely what I wanted. So, it's interesting, Kirish, spelt K-I-R-I-S-H, for, while that guy's just standing there blowing a whistle. Well, I'll do what the locals do anyway. If they want to cross the road, they seem to cross the road. It doesn't look too safe, even though it's dark. A lot of the cars are going without any lights. That seems to be a place where they're making them actually stop. So that seems as that might be a more logical place to try and cross the road. This is the sort of thing you want to look out for when you're travelling around unusual places. Deep gullies like that just goes to show, what with it being a continental climate and that, it may be dry, but I imagine when it actually gets wet, when it actually rains, it probably rains the right monsoon, which is why, especially with those mountains in the background that we saw earlier, lifting the clouds at a certain point. But anyway, yeah, the in-flight magazine said lots of different trees, and I dare say this is one of them. I'm just trying to make the best of the time while I've still got some light. This light isn't very good for the eyes already, for human eyes, but it is okay as far as they seem to be stopping. This is more interesting to walk over this side because it's actually got some shops and things. Look at that, you have to step over that, you have to be aware of that. If you're partially sighted, then well, some people that You may say, well, if they're partially sighted, you may not be watching a YouTube video, but actually I have had partially sighted viewers. And if you're partially sighted, in fact they particularly like my channel because I do a lot of talking, and they're very welcome, I ought to add, and can add with all my sincerity that I can muster. So there's that gully. It's quite deep, you break your leg if you go down there at the wrong angle. So there's your buses. So there's your shops. Ice cream up in Russian there, мороженое. It means the frozen substance, literally. There are lots of mobile phone shops. That seems to be a bar for разливное пиво, which is nice. So that gentleman's got one of those squarish hats on. I'm going to show you what they look like, because that's quite a common style amongst the Uzbeks. It's their traditional style. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one of them for me, but if I found one, I'd probably get one. Might make me look like an Islamic terror, I don't know. Knopka again. Kanstovar. There we are. Russian word. Kanstovar. Although they say kanstovar, don't laugh in Russian. Kancelarnia. Here you have the lack of the T, because it's just kancelary, I suppose, in there. But the tovar means goods. So it's a straight calc out of Russian. Yeah, office goods, office supplies, kanstovar. You see, you don't need to know a lot to be able to find your way around. Even I was going to say this Kirish, K-I-R-I-S-H, of course, easy to recognise. Girish, G-I-R-I-S with a thingy underneath in Turkish. Chikish is C with a thingy underneath it. Or is it E or an I? I can't even remember that in Turkish. But then K-I-S with a thingy underneath it is chikish, C-H-I-K, like somebody's fried chikish.